First, a big thank you to Jambot, BGB, Bionic Warrior 12, Locked, and Yellow Swerve for input and information in regards to the tech I'm about to cover. We've had a couple new developments since the last movement guide came out with some new techniques that we can use. These are known as the Jamblast, ULTRABOOST, and the Ultra Slide Jump. Jamblast is named after the runner Jambot and coined by DK Pulls, based off a technique Jam discovered when attempting to reduce damage from rollouts with the pump charge variant on 2-3. The Jamblast itself is a technique in which you reduce the damage you take from an overpump blast by dashing just before firing. If done correctly, you should only take about 33 damage, meaning you can pull this move off 3 times without healing. This technique was discovered by Bionic Warrior 12 when coming up with a new strategy for the 2-1 any % category. The Ultra Boost is performed by firing a core eject grenade and shooting it while it's close to you with a malicious railgun. The damage boost effectively adds the knockback of each explosion together as one, giving you an enormous boost in speed. It can either do 36 or 50 damage depending on which explosion hits you first. The quicker you shoot the core after firing, the better the chance you have of taking 36 instead of 50 damage. Here's a comparison between the speed, distance covered, and height between this method and other methods. Here's a method you can use if you're in the air. Look down, dash backwards, and drop a core. After you drop the core, hold W or forward, then pull out the railgun and shoot the core. The reason you hold W is to get you a little bit closer to the core and to give you a bigger boost. This method isn't very easy to pull off right away, so I suggest turning on major assists and going into 2-4 and just practicing it there. I highly recommend opening the cheat menu as well and activating no weapon cooldowns with the Konami code. You can Google that if you don't know what it is. It might also help to change the order of your railguns, so the malicious rail is first when you pull it out to make it even quicker. The USJ is a technique that has been around for a while but rarely used and went unnamed. The only viable area this was used was for 3-2 when crossing the stone hands, and that was called the Mega Jump. For a few others, myself included, we believed it was the geometry of the hands that allowed us to do this. But BGB recently brought up that it required a frame-perfect input of the slide and jump at the same time. This input is called a dive, which was discovered by Locked in the 1.03 Prelude demo. The easiest way to perform a dive is to bind both slide and jump together on the same button. However, this is not entirely necessary. It can be done somewhat consistently with a bit of practice. You'll know if you've performed the dive correctly when you see the sliding particles while jumping through the air. You will want to hold slide and jump while you're doing this. However, to get the full benefits from the Ultra Slide Jump, you'll need to let go of both the jump and the slide buttons the moment you hit the ground. The dive itself isn't particularly useful alone, but when used with a slam store, or just a long falling slam, you can get the height of a slam store and the forward direction of a slide jump. This isn't the most useful technique as it stands, but it can still be used for 3-2, various challenge runs, or just for fun. Who knows, maybe it'll be used more in future acts and possibly when custom levels are finally available to us. And that basically covers it all for now. I know this was a short one, and I appreciate the patience with all the guides, and I'd like y'all to know that the combat stuff is coming, but in small bites and pieces, for the sake of my sanity. There has been a number of changes since the last update, so I'll have to redo a few things, but that shouldn't be an issue. Anyways, thanks for watching all, and I'll see you in the next one.